I'm Moshe.
And I'm Polly.
And this is
The Human Collective.
Welcome back to another episode of the show. Let's get some video going here.
Okay, there we are. Are we on? Hey.
We are on.
Look at us.
And we're a few minutes late.
Sorry for anyone who was waiting.
Look at that camera angle on Twitch.
Well, you took my stand, so I can't really change it.
That's all good. Anyone who's watching on Twitch, you should jump on YouTube because the video feed's much better.
And the sound is better too. But it is what it is. So.
Yeah, so
if you only like Twitch, stay there.
Yeah, so welcome back to the show. Thank you for tuning in. We're a little late tonight because I have a broken dog.
She's a sick dog. Poor thing.
I don't know what's going on.
Our mascot.
Yeah, our mascot is now a three-legged dog.
Oh, but we splintered her up, and she's going to be better.
She broke her paw.
We had to carry her. I didn't have to carry her. You carried her outside, which was really sweet. So she could use the facilities outside.
Yeah, so the other day, Polly and I were at an orchard, and we were shooting some promos for the show, actually, and just doing, like, pumpkin patch fall type stuff. And while we were gone, something happened, and my dog, Ayla, broke her paw. Honestly, I don't know if it's broken or not because I didn't take her to a vet. I was like, I don't know what they could possibly do. What's up, Tyler? Thanks for tuning in.
So you're able to see that?
Yeah, I have the YouTube stream
cool.
up.
Good. Excellent. So I won't have to. I thought I'd do it anyway.
Okay, cool. So yeah, these are, I really wanted to do a informative podcast tonight, something that, you know, talk about some topics that are trending right now and I think are important to all people instead of, you know, sort of niche topics. So like he's reading the
I see.
The description of the show, the title of the show, Deepfakes. I titled it Deepfakes, the End of ISIS and Libra Crypto. So one thing I wanted to start with is deepfakes. Yeah. And this is nothing brand new. Deepfakes have been around for a while,
Can you explain what it is exactly?
Okay, so deepfakes, and Tyler, if you want to chime in on this, anything that I miss, you're more than welcome to jump in. But basically, it's it's part of deep learning. It's sort of like a system. It's a technique for human image synthesis, if that makes sense. So it's a form of AI, and basically what you can do is almost visually take over someone's identity with image tracking software and some 3D rendering, manipulation, and things like that. So, for example, Jordan Peele did a deepfake of Barack Obama on Saturday Night Live, where he did like an Obama speech, but as a deep fake. So it was, if you're watching it to the naked eye, or anyone who's not really keen on 3D animation or like video game graphics, this sort of thing, it literally looked like Barack Obama.
Do you have a video of that?
I don't, but I could pull one up.
Let's get one because that would be really interesting to see. I didn't catch Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
I know he does a really good impression of Barack Obama. Like his voice is spot on. So, is it kind of like...
Yeah, so exactly. So think about it like this. Here, I'm going to pull up.
Is it kind of like that?
It got me thinking about my
Is that close to the speaker? Yeah, it is.
full-time employees and their ability to survive on $8 an hour in New York City. And foremost in all of our minds has been the loss and the grief felt by the people of Orlando. Most of us don't get our health care through the marketplace. We get it through our job or through Medicare or Medicare. And what you should know is that thanks to the Affordable Care Act, your coverage is better today than it was before. Women can get free checkups, and you can't get charged more just for being a woman.
So you can see how it
Give
renders.
his employees came together to pass a common. There's a bill that would boost America's very, very hard times.
Some progress, at least within the small confines of the legal community. I think it's real important.
Here we go. President Barack Obama. When you giving a speech, make sure you use a lot of pauses.
America's businesses have created 14.5 million new jobs over 75 straight months.
We're developing technology. Every technology.
Yeah, so I'll spare you this woman's description of it. But basically, yeah, so that's it. They collect a bunch of footage from different angles. The more angles and the more footage they have, the obviously the deeper the information is, the data is to generate these images.
Okay, so are they actually like they're moving his mouth for him? Like they have, I don't know. I'm really kind of like, I'm a techno-tard, so I don't understand how
Yeah.
they can actually do that. So they're saying that it's not Barack Obama, it's pictures of him, but they're moving his mouth in the way to say words that they actually put in. So you have to be able to have his voice. How does that work?
You would have to imitate his voice.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's also software that can voice mask, and you could basically talk just like you do, just like kind of like auto-tune. You know, when you listen to any T-Pain song, it's on auto-tune.
Yeah.
And it basically takes someone who has a shitty voice and manipulates it so they sound like they're singing in key, right? So you could basically, with enough fine-tuning, you could probably pull the same thing off
With anything.
for a deep fake. But a lot of people that are deep faking are they're like an actor or someone similar in. I saw one with Keanu Reeves. You guys can search that if you want, but there's a really good one. It's kind of like a comedy. It's like a short skit where Keanu Reeves is like in a convenience store and he stops a guy from robbing the store or something like that. So they got an actor who was like the same build and almost the same kind of physique as Keanu Reeves, but then deep fakes an image of his face on the actor. So the actor's doing the voice, he's doing the mannerisms, but
Keanu Reeves is actually
yeah.
face you see.
Yeah. So it's using like image tracking. It's using basically little pixels and vertices that designate points on someone's face, just like if you were doing like motion capture, like the Lord of the Rings films were. They sort of, that was sort of the flagship of image capture.
So if you're able to
Motion
if you're able
capture,
to do this, then you could probably do that for anyone. So anyone could be saying
Exactly.
something or doing something. You could put words in people's mouths, like literally.
Exactly. And that's why I wanted to link that, because I watched Zuckerberg on trial with Congress. He was in front of, he sat in front of Congress, and they were asking him about Libra, which is a subsidiary of Calibra, which is like Facebook's. So Calibra is the parent company. Libra is Facebook's cryptocurrency, which is you remember Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Do you know how Bitcoin worked? Like blockchain software and cryptocurrency. It's basically like non-banked currency.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry.
It's complicated.
Going back to like
But yeah.
the deep fakes, like the implications of that. People can make anyone do anything.
Right.
So right now they're just using it as like a joke on Saturday Night Live. But what is like the plan? What do you think they're going to do with that
I don't know,
in the future?
I
Like
mean,
that,
that's
you
to be determined.
You can make anyone a public enemy by putting words in their mouths. Like that's kind of scary if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like they can use it as a weapon
Yeah.
and make anyone a public enemy. Because now with the cancel culture going on, cancel culture going on,
Right.
they could say, oh, this person said that, show a video of it. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden everyone hates them.
Yeah, if you think about it, like our generation we're a soundbite generation,
Yeah.
right? So the average person will hear one piece of news on, say, CNN or something, and they run with that. They don't tend to, and I'm not saying all people, but a lot of people don't tend to learn beyond that point.
Yeah. That's really scary. All right, so what did you see in the trial? with
Think
Zuckerberg?
about this. Aside from how people could use it maliciously, think about how the government could use it.
Yeah.
So, like, we create these terrorist organizations like ISIS and the Taliban and whoever, right? So now they could. I mean, they could assume the identity of these people, be in a soundstage, and then basically broadcast something to the mass public, and we don't know.
That's true. There's no way of checking for that.
And we're not going to be able to tell that's a deep fake, right?
There's no way that it's tested. There's no like
It could
flash
be.
across the screen. You're like, oh, you remember when there's like currency that's not real? You can take a pen and write across, and you're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
yellow or that's black. It's a fake. There's no way to be able to do that with these deep fakes.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because right here I have a counterfeit detector pen.
See, and there's there's gonna have to be apps or something that they build to be able to see if that's actually a person saying that. But they could turn like whole groups. Like the government could use it for anything. They could turn people against whole groups of other people.
Yeah, or anyone that wants to just steer a message. You know, I mean, it's
'cause
really
Saturday Night
believable.
Live can do it. So do you just need enough footage of the person? Like you need enough pictures of them?
Yeah, exactly. Pictures, video. I mean, the more high definition the footage, the better. Like 4K footage, obviously, is going to be better than an old VHS tape. But do people still remember VHS?
I do.
Am I that old?
Do you remember like rewinding it? Like you put a pen in and you like
Yeah.
turn it?
Oh, no. Wait, was that VHS? No, that
No,
was...
you put your thumb in the VHS. You put it in the cassette tape.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
cassette
yeah,
tapes, you had to do that.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
I
I'm
remember
aging myself.
sometimes the VHS machine would eat up the tape.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to wind it back up,
But you
and
can
there would
use
be
your
like
finger
little
for that.
crinkles and stuff in it. And it was a magnet, right? It was like it was some kind of like magnet that sent a signal.
I don't know.
It was like
Not
an
much about it.
electromagnetic signal that
I
broadcast
just
the
knew you
image.
stuck your finger in there and you could turn it.
Yeah, but if the tape got damaged, it would scramble part of the image.
Yeah, it would totally mess it up.
And the
Remember you had to
tracking button,
rewind?
there was a little tracking button on there. You hold the plus or the minus on tracking, and it would take that scramble away.
I don't remember that.
It's funny because we came leaps and bounds with technology to where, you know, we have crystal clear 4K, 8K, 12K footage, 16K, whatever. And we have filters on things like Snapchat and Instagram that sort of recreate what the old VHS tapes used to do.
There's filters that do that? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What filters do
Like
that?
people want to distress their images. It's like a
Oh.
cool effect.
It's like jeans. They want to wear old jeans that are worn.
Yeah, but it's like you're shooting. You got an iPhone 11, right? It shoots this crystal clear footage, beautiful footage, and then you put a filter on it
That's
that makes
true.
it look distressed.
Or like makes it look black and white, and
Yeah.
like that orangey.
Yeah, it gives it
filter.
like a tint or something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
that's true.
Sepia tone.
Yep.
Yeah.
People always want what they don't have. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
So think about let's say someone wants to create a deep fake of a terrorist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of broadcasting it in crystal clear 4K, they broadcast it in something that looks kind of like, I don't know, beat up footage. And then it would be even harder to tell that it was deep faked
Yeah.
because you don't see all the details. You know, if you look around the edge of the like where they're sort of where they're image mapping the face on the person, if you look really close, you can still tell that it's computer generated.
You can. How?
Some people can. Like
Okay.
I can look really close and see, okay, yeah. But unless someone told me, if just out of the corner of my eye I was watching that Obama clip, I would just think it was Obama.
And how many people are going to actually look that close?
Right.
Like how many people care that much? They just want to hear a message and say, "Oh
Exactly.
my gosh, he said what? She said what?" And
Exactly.
go with it.
So
It's really scary.
So Congress, I forget which member of Congress it was, brought up the use of deep fakes for things like Libra, right? So Libra cryptocurrency, Zuckerberg was like, I want to give poor people the opportunity to send money to their families and stuff like that using Facebook without the need for a bank account. They can send it through Libra. So
Okay.
it's a non-banking currency. And like Congress wasn't buying it. They're like, oh, really? One of the richest men on earth is
Wants to
trying
help poor people?
Yeah, wants to
Really?
help poor people
Send
by
money?
creating a. So, but the interesting thing is that Facebook was banning the use of Bitcoin and Ethereum or whatever the other cryptocurrencies were on Facebook on their platform.
But now he wants to start his own.
Exactly, and it's
He's a smart guy.
yeah.
I gotta hand it to him.
Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I was just saying he's banning one and then saying you can only use mine. Like that's amazing.
Pretty much, and
It's monopolizing.
yeah, and that's been an issue with. If you remember, the first time he sat in front of Congress, they brought up the monopoly thing.
Yeah.
They're like, your platform is really the only of its kind. You know, you can't
That's true.
you can't compare driving a car to taking a commercial flight, right? And that's
Yeah.
like comparing Facebook to say Twitter. They're completely different platforms,
That's true.
right? So it's like apples and oranges.
I mean, Twitter. I'm not an avid Twitter user. I don't tweet that much,
Mm-hmm.
but Twitter has a lot of boundaries. doesn't it? Like you can only type so much. You can only like use words. You can't put up photos, right?
Well, you
Things
kind of
like that.
can.
You have to link it. You have to link them
You
in.
have to link it, and then it will generate if you upload a video or something like that, or if you posted a link that was using a like a YouTube link, it will create like a way to where you can watch. It's embedded, basically. It's
Okay.
embedding the footage, but it
Yeah,
didn't used to be
nothing-
like that. It used to be just text. It was basically like Twitter was a facsimile.
Yeah, but it's nothing like Facebook. Like Facebook now even has a dating app.
Dating app.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it has a marketplace.
It does. You can share, like, sell goods. Like it's a whole community. When they say it's a community, it really is.
Yeah.
Like Facebook, you can do anything on. So now you can send money.
Yeah, Tyler was chiming in. He said the photos from U.S. spy satellites. Yeah, I mean, think about that. Like, there's technology that we don't even have yet that the government's using. So, and that's what's available to the public. You know, so imagine what they're capable of. You
That's
know?
kind of scary. They could use it for anything.
Yeah.
So what else happened at his hearing?
So he sat down with the EU Parliament, and he also sat down with the U.S. Congress. They were both extremely long, exhausting hearings. Mostly, I didn't listen to the whole thing. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched kind of highlights of
It
it.
was like hours and
Yeah.
hours, right?
It was the U.S. one was 6 hours long.
Oh, wow. The
Yeah.
whole time they're asking him questions, or were other people talking and accusing him of things? Like what
So
did it entail?
yeah,
6
so the
hours.
way it works is each member of Congress has a designated amount of time to
Okay.
ask questions, and then he's given the opportunity to respond to them within their time limit.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the way it works. So everyone had different questions. Some people, for example, one of the Congress members was talking about vaccinations and how Facebook should have more information for the public as far as like the potential dangers or harms of vaccinations.
Wait, why should Facebook have
Exactly.
vaccination information?
Exactly. Like some of
Aren't
it.
there government websites that have that?
Yeah, it was. I mean, a lot of these guys and men and women in Congress, they're like old. They don't understand the platform, and they want to ask really good, juicy questions because
They want to seem smart.
yeah, but they don't know what the heck they're talking
That's what
about.
vaccination. Like, I understand there's a lot of responsibility having the biggest social media platform. Like having Facebook, you do have a lot of responsibility, but
Yeah,
I don't think that should entail having vaccination information. Personally, like
yeah, I don't
the
think they
government should have something. If you're encouraging it, your physician should have that information. Like, I don't see why Facebook should have that, but Facebook has everything else, right? So
Yeah, and it's not their responsibility to produce that kind of content. Now, if someone like yourself wants to go on your page and talk about vaccinations and inform your friends and your followers, that's a different story. That's fine.
yeah, but if I do that, is Mark Zuckerberg required to like fact check me?
That's the thing. It's like, that's the thing. When you have a platform as powerful as Facebook, obviously you want to minimize misinformation.
Yeah, but you can't do that when you have so many users. Like,
Exactly.
people think what they want to think. And
It's a
there's so
social
many
network.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many physicians that don't believe in vaccinations. There's a lot of people that are anti-vaxxers. So everyone's going to be putting out their information.
Yeah.
So who is to say that Mark Zuckerberg has to like fact check people, or
I think you're
that
right.
his information is correct?
I think you're right. The only reason I pointed that out is because every member of Congress had something different to talk about, you know.
Yeah.
They were all coming from a different angle, but the common thread was Facebook being a monopoly. I'm sorry, not restrictions. What's the word I'm looking for?
No idea.
Okay.
Go ahead. It'll hit you later.
Yeah. Basically just shit. What's the word I'm looking for? Somebody help me out here.
Wait, what is it in reference to?
Like basically just giving the government regulations.
Okay.
Thank you, Moshe. Number 2. Yeah. So
I
more.
was never gonna get that.
So they're trying to figure out how to regulate things on Facebook.
Okay.
And they're basically saying, hey, you were given the opportunity to self-regulate and you're not doing a very good job. So if you don't step up to the plate and start regulating things like what we were just talking about, we're going to do it. The government's going to step in and regulate. a privatized institution.
What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think they should?
Actually,
do
they're not
that?
private. They're public. Sorry. They're a public company.
Yeah, but what do you think about that? Like, do you think they should come in and regulate?
I don't know, because if the thing is, like, that opens the floodgates for regulation
Exactly.
everywhere. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's certain things that should be regulated and other things that shouldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't feel like Mark Zuckerberg himself is putting information out there that needs to be regulated.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know, maybe there's something out there that he is promoting that needs to be, but from
It's
what
not
I
his
see,
responsibility.
it's just people's with their own little pages talking. It's just people interacting with each other. So
Yeah.
I don't see how he needs to regulate that any more than it's already being filtered and regulated.
I honestly don't even use Facebook anymore.
You use Messenger though.
I use the Messenger, yeah. Mostly to talk to our guests.
Yeah.
We use Facebook Messenger to talk to our guests.
I
We're
think
deep
it's-
faking them. They're not real.
I think there's more people on Facebook though. So if you want to like look at old high school friends or people in grade school even, you might be able to find them easier on Facebook than you would on like anything else.
Yeah.
Instagram or Twitter.
So that's a good, that made me think of another topic, which is shadow profiling.
Okay.
So shadow profile, that's also something that Congress mentioned that he really steered away from. He just didn't want to talk about.
So shadow profiling, can you explain to me what that is?
Yes. in a very like rudimentary
That's
way.
okay. That's the way I need it.
There's parts of it that they can't even really explain.
Who, Facebook?
Yeah, because it's kind of, it's hard to quantify unless you're talking about specific individuals. So basically, all right,
I'll give an example then.
here's an example. If you do not have a Facebook account and you're a unanimous user,
Okay. Which I can be. I can just go to facebook.com.
right, if you go to facebook.com on your laptop
Uh-huh.
and you look at public profiles, you're not required to have a Facebook account to do so, right?
Right. Yep.
Okay, so while you're on their platform, they are going to collect some data that they can sort of comb from your IP address, like certain information that your computer is sharing with cookies and things like that. They can scrub that information to build a shadow profile on you. That's part of it. Yeah, and then also, like, for example, when you sign up for Facebook, it's like, do you want us to search your contacts and see who? Now, by doing that, your contacts list has email addresses and phone numbers that you just released to Facebook, and they also build profiles that way. So it's basically their way of profiling essentially everyone.
Even if you don't have an account.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
And they're using that information and selling it to advertisers.
They can. I don't know to what extent they're doing that, but yeah, I would say yeah. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they can. Also, when you delete your account, okay, if you say I want Facebook to delete all of my information, and I want to download everything that I've put on my Facebook account, all my photos, all of my pictures, all of my content,
Yeah.
and then I want it gone.
Yeah.
Facebook actually still does store that data somewhere, even after you delete it.
Whoa. So I have like years and years of photos. Even if I take it off of Facebook, they keep it.
Yes.
And they could probably deep fake me.
Yeah.
So if you see
Oh,
me saying
for
some
sure.
crazy things out there, it wasn't me.
Yeah, for sure. Facebook has accumulated enough data on a majority of people to deep fake us.
Man.
Yeah. So that's a lot of power.
It is.
Yeah. it's-
Facebook has a lot of power. I guess the government has a lot because they can take it from them whenever they want.
Yeah.
And hackers, I guess, too, they could steal that information because one person has it, everybody has it.
Right. So it's kind of like, if you think about it, our generation gave away all of this information for free. We gave away all of our identity for free just to have an app or this
Yeah.
thing to connect with our friends and families. Like, that was the idea. You know, when we were reading these terms of services and stuff.
We weren't reading them.
Yeah, we weren't. We were just like, okay,
Yeah,
I just got to
yeah.
click this button to get through this gate so I can communicate with my friends and family.
And that was all it was. And we didn't know we were selling information that was valuable. I don't think
Giving
we
it
knew was
away.
valuable.
We weren't even selling
Yeah.
it. And then it became a commodity without even knowing the value of it, while companies like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google, right,
Yeah.
were making billions and billions of dollars hand over fist with target marketing and selling it off to advertisers and stuff like that.
Yeah, we
That's-
just gave it away, and now we can't live without it.
It's
I
almost
can't imagine living without it.
can't exactly. And now it's like now you know you kind of have to sell your soul to the devil to use
Yeah.
their platforms.
I don't know. I think if I had to disconnect from a platform, I'd kind of be worried because then I don't keep in contact with half the people I'm friends with.
Yeah.
I just know eventually if I have to, they're there. For,
Yeah.
You know?
I remember when Facebook was really at its peak, like I would see friends and I was like, all right, see you later. I'll talk to you on Facebook.
Yeah.
What? Like, we're right here. You know?
But then that way, like, I have friends that I went to school with, and I know what their kids are doing. Like,
Only
I know,
through that.
Only through that. Haven't talked to them in years, but I can
Right.
tell you, like, where their kids are going to school and how their grades are doing. Like, I know their whole lives. I feel like it's taking away a lot of what
Yeah.
I would be calling them up for and asking for an update.
Yeah, that
We
could be
don't
true.
have to catch up anymore. Like, that catching up doesn't have to happen because
Yep.
of social media.
I remember as a kid, like if I wanted to see a friend, I had to knock on their door and like, hey, Mrs. Johnson, is little Tommy around?
Do you remember memorizing phone numbers?
Oh yeah, yeah. I also had a little phone book.
Yeah, a little black one.
Yeah.
How many phone numbers do you know now by heart?
I know mine. I know my mom's by heart.
Is it the same one she's had for like forever?
No.
Like her home number?
But I remember my first phone number, like as a kid.
Yeah?
We should call it right now and see who answers. That would be so funny. Let's do it. It's only 7:30. Should I do it?
Yeah,
All right.
let's do it.
Do you remember your first phone number?
I actually, it was my phone number for such a long time, and my brother, I don't know why, but he thought he was getting a good plan and he sold our number. Like he got rid of it. And I'm so sad. 'Cause
Home phone number?
my home phone number from when I was a kid.
Oh man.
I was so mad at him. He was like, it was a good deal. And I'm like, why couldn't you keep our same phone number?
I don't know.
I still use it for like all the stores. You know, like they say, put your phone number and you can get discounts. I
Yeah.
still use the same old phone number. So whoever has it now, and I'm giving them points essentially, or I'm using theirs.
But you still remember the number, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do a
No,
fun
I'm
little
not
thing
calling
here.
that one. Be like, give me my number.
I have
back.
another microphone here. I'm gonna call my first. This is not planned. I'm just doing this on a whim. I'm gonna call the first phone number I
And
had.
say what?
I'm gonna say you're on a podcast
And you have my phone number.
and you
Give it
had my
back.
phone number as a kid. I just wanted. So, I don't know what I'm gonna say. Let's just wing it. So the number, if anyone else wants to call it, is 215-289.
Who's
215-289. 2587. Who's Jimmy?
Jenny's number.
Jenny? Who's Jenny? Who posted that? Tyler?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Jenny's number. I don't know.
Is that your first girlfriend, Tyler? We can call her next. Hold on. All right, let's call this number and see what happens.
Oh,
These people are gonna be
goodness.
freaked out.
I can't. What are you gonna say?
We're sorry, your call cannot be completed as dialed.
They don't even have it. You should take it back.
That sucks.
can you
That's
call
so
the phone?
underwhelming.
Can you can you call the phone company and be like, I want this number?
Well, it said that maybe that number's available.
It must be. No
What-
one's using it.
You want to call yours now?
No, because I think someone has it. That's why
Oh.
we couldn't get it back.
Well, that's at least more interesting than what just happened
what
there.
are you gonna say?
I'm going to say, hi, you have my number from when I was a child, and I just wanted to see who was on the other end.
Ask them if they're willing to sell it.
Sell the number?
Yeah, because I actually memorized that number. It's the
All
only
right.
number. Because now if my dad calls me, I don't pick up.
Oh,
And
because
he's
you don't
like,
recognize
yeah,
the
and
number?
then I leave a message. He's like, Polly, why didn't you pick up? And I'm like, I didn't know it was you.
Do you want me to call and ask them if they'll sell their number?
Yeah.
All right, what's the number?
Oh gosh.
Just tell me. Who cares?
But then if I get it back, everyone's gonna know my home.
You're
number.
not getting it back. I'm
I'm
not
gonna
going to
get it back.
sell their
Hold
number.
on, I'm gonna write it down. Okay.
Oh, my God. It's not your social security number. What's that, by the way? Let's broadcast our socials. I remember I had the podcast I had in the past. I was like, no one was listening to the show. So I gave my credit card number. And I was like, if anyone's actually listening to the show, they can spend $20 with my credit card.
You actually give out your credit card number?
It was my way to just like try and get subscribers.
And did they only spend $20 or?
No, they wiped me out.
All right, can you read it?
It's an 8 on the end, right?
Stop that. Yeah, it is.
All right, here we go.
Ask them if they're willing to sell it. I hope I can get my childhood number back.
Oh, someone better answer.
People don't pick up numbers they don't know. That's not a thing anymore. Probably
Come
says scam
on.
likely. It's going to be like scam likely.
No, it's legit. We're trying to put up good money for these numbers.
I actually would. I would pay for it because it's so many things are logged. Every store that has like a store account is logged to that number.
This is so lame. It's got to be a landline because it's just continuing to ring.
Yeah, and they don't have. I wonder if I can like find another way to contact them. It's a land number.
All right,
No
two more and I'm
message
giving
received.
up. Probably a 90-year-old lady. She just fell down a flight of stairs.
Oh, he might be her last hope. Hopefully she can get
Memory is full. Enter the remote access code.
Is it?
Oh, you don't remember your remote access code, do you?
That's not. That's not ours. All right.
All right,
So,
that
was a
didn't
fail.
work out.
Womp womp. That's
Oh,
okay.
should we call Sarah or whoever? This
Who's
is kind of
Jenny's
fun now.
number? 867. Oh, that's a song.
Oh.
8675309.
Yeah, I didn't read it. I read
Yeah,
it.
I
I'm like,
didn't.
oh, okay, I remember that. I didn't know that was Jenny's number.
It was somebody's number. All right.
So,
Phone numbers don't work anymore. Nobody uses them.
you know the actor Bill Murray?
Nope.
Polly doesn't remember anyone by name.
And you always start conversations and be like, do you know? And I'm like, nah. All right, go ahead. What about him?
So-
He's the one that died.
No, Bill Murray's not dead.
Who
He's
just
alive
died?
and well.
You just told me somebody died.
Oh, John Witherspoon died.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different guy.
He played the dad on Friday with Ice Cube.
Ice Cube. I know Ice Cube.
Yeah. Remember the movie he did Friday After Next, next Friday?
Is Ice Cube in that TV show? Ice Cube's in that TV show with the police officers.
That's
right?
Ice-T. It's like Law and Order or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
Law and Order. That's it. No,
Yeah.
no Ice Cube.
You put Ice-T and Ice Cube together, you got a nice beverage. And a damn good rap album.
All right, so we're not talking about him. We're not talking about the guy who died. Who are we talking about?
Okay, so Bill Murray is an actor,
Okay.
comedian. He's been around forever. And he was doing this thing where he had a phone number that you could call and like leave him a message, and he might call you back. So on my last podcast, we were trying to figure out what the number was, and we were like, oh, it was a 1-800 number, by the way. It was a toll-free number. So we just were like 1-800 Bill Murray, and we just, that's obvious enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we tried 1-800 Bill Murray, and it was a phone sex operator.
Oh, wow.
And we just let it go. It was really funny. Like, we had no idea. We didn't try it. And we did it live on the show. And we didn't actually talk to a phone sex operator because that would have been too expensive. The show wasn't making any money. So.
Once we make some money, then we can
Yeah.
talk to the good conversation.
Well, I had this idea for a segment where I would call a phone sex operator and get them to chime in on a topic.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, no. It was an
You
idea.
did have that idea, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I told you about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did.
Didn't work out. Anyway, all right, let's get back on topic here.
Yeah, so we're talking about Mark Zuckerberg, right? And Facebook and Libra and
Yeah,
cryptocurrency.
Yeah. So I'd be curious to see what happens with this crypto and if he gets it off the ground.
Yeah. He probably will.
You can send money through Facebook right now.
I think if you just grease enough hands, you can have anything happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way this world is. Like if you...
He's not playing nice with Congress, though. I kind of like that about him.
He's not playing nice.
No, I mean, he's... Like you said, like he I think you were like, I respect that or something. How I was like, he's kind of beating around the bush. He's not like giving direct answers.
They asked him about shadow profiling.
Yeah, and he was just like I don't know.
He denied knowing anything about it, like what it was.
Right.
Or he just denied, which I think is kind of smart because
it is. Yeah.
if you're lawyers, how many lawyers did you say he has?
About 100 on retainer.
100 lawyers just sitting around.
Yeah.
So he's smart not to say anything until
He
he knows
probably
exactly
has
what to
entire
say
law
about them.
firms. Yeah.
You have to. You know how many people could could try to go after him. Like, he's the largest platform.
Absolutely. Oh, Facebook gets sued
in
on a
the
daily basis.
world. Yeah.
On a
So
daily
he
basis.
needs those people just like watching his back.
Yeah, agreed.
He's pretty smart.
So we'll see what happens. Oh, wait, this is kind of interesting.
What?
Tor was the Navy's secure communications network. Then when they phase out, they let it go public. So, crypto. So was Tor the Navy's own form of cryptocurrency? Is that what you're
The
saying?
Navy has a cryptocurrency?
I'm not calling that number, by the way, Tyler. I have no idea what that number is.
It's a song. It's a song. It's an old song.
No, he posted another number. He's like, call this number, please. It's probably a phone sex operator.
It's the same number.
It's his number.
Oh, you're putting your number online. You're so brave. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, we'll save that for another episode. We'll actually have you on because you've been a really dedicated.
You should be a guest.
Yeah.
I think you should really be a guest. We can get you on the screen.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
We'll save that for another episode in the future.
You can have your own.
I promise
episode.
you. Fun. Yes. So there was a couple other things I wanted to talk about. So the leader of ISIS was killed this week. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, from you.
My dog's crying.
Oh, baby.
Oh, she took the thing off of her paw.
We splinted
Oh,
it.
man.
We put a cast on her paw.
Yeah.
She took it off. She
She's
don't want
all
that
right.
on her.
So there was a raid, and it resulted in the death of Baghdadi.
Baghdadi.
I'm gonna try not to butcher his name. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's really his name.
that's really his name. Yeah, like Baghdad. Oh, you thought it was like a joke?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I thought you were saying bad daddy, like a big bad boss, kind of. That's what I thought you were saying.
That's what they
All right.
called him, Big Baghdadi. Big Baghdadi got more head than he got body.
Anyway, so he's dead.
He's dead, and he actually like detonated a bomb, like a
Yeah.
vest bomb, and took his family with him.
A whole bunch of kids.
Yeah.
And he wounded the dog that found him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I saw on Instagram Donald Trump putting like a Medal of Honor around the dog.
Do you have a picture?
Yeah, but
Look
it
at the
was
picture up. He tweeted a picture on his Twitter account because you guys know that President Trump loves to use Twitter.
Yeah.
So he posted a picture, and it's like an altered picture of him giving this an award to a dog, and it's the right dog, but the award wasn't actually given to him. I think he was trying to honor the dog,
yeah.
but I kind of feel bad for the actual recipient of that award. So the guy, I think it was the New York Post, they asked him, how did you feel about that? Donald Trump giving the award that you earned in 2017. I think
Photoshop.
he was a medic, I believe, and he saved people's lives, like 10 people's lives in battle, I believe, in war.
Oh, the
Vietnam
dog?
War. No, the actual man. And they used that picture,
yeah.
his award, and put it on the dog. I would feel a little insulted. Wouldn't you?
The dog doesn't.
The dog doesn't, but like, I mean, I actually risked my life. I'm putting myself in his shoes. Like, I risked my life.
Yeah.
I saved 10 people. I earned this award, and the picture that I have, you put a dog in my space. I mean, I understand trying to honor the dog as well, because the dog did save probably a lot of people's lives as well.
Yeah.
But using the same picture, I don't know, that's kind of insulting, don't you think? What do you think? I mean, if it was your award, how would you feel?
I agree 100%. Seriously, like I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would feel insulted. So they asked the guy, and he was like, "No, it's kind of funny." Ha ha ha.
It was kind of funny.
I don't know. I would have been mad about it. It is kind of fun. It's cute. I think they should have had their own little award ceremony for the dog.
Donald Trump can't seem to do anything without there being some sort of flack. Like,
All right,
you know
should
what
I leave
mean?
him alone? I'll leave him alone.
No, I mean,
it's
slaughter him. I mean,
No, I mean, it's
I
not,
have no problem with it. I'm just saying.
I don't. It's not a terrible thing. I'm sure he's done a lot worse than that. I just think I kind of feel a little bad about the guy who actually earned the award.
Yeah, I
whose
agree.
Picture it actually is.
The dog should also earn I mean, not that it would
Yes.
matter. Like, to
Yeah,
the
but
dog,
they
like a
would
couple T-bone steaks would suffice. He don't need a medal. He's like, you can't eat a medal. Like, Either get me a nice, cute little poodle or a T-bone.
A nice, cute little poodle.
I don't know.
He
What,
looks like a vicious dog. That's a vicious looking dog,
yeah,
isn't he?
the German Shepherd.
Cute little poodle.
I wonder, in as far as dogs go, like if
I don't
male
think they
dogs
think
look at
that's cute.
poodles and it's like you know what I mean?
They probably think that's a stupid looking haircut.
Yeah,
Because it is.
yeah, like that's
Can you
so
imagine?
1987.
Anyway, yeah. So they found him. So now that he's gone,
Yeah.
what's going to happen with like ISIS?
I don't think ISIS is. I mean, you know, ISIS is still. They're still a terror organization, and they're going to continue to do wrongdoing. And
So someone else is just going to step up.
right, I mean, they recruit people on a daily basis. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
From everywhere, from America even.
Yeah, and I think they're the largest, or if not one of the largest.
Terrorist.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So but I mean, you take down the leader. I mean, look at what happened when we took down Castro. That's a little different.
Yeah. It disperses.
We
a little
didn't
bit.
take down Castro. I shouldn't say that. He died.
So it disperses like a little bit.
I think so.
It disrupts them.
Yeah, because you know,
That's their leadership.
yeah, that's their leadership. Exactly.
But I'm sure, like in a situation like this, they have second command, especially since he was so quickly took his life. Like,
Yeah,
he took it pretty quickly.
he was probably anticipating this.
Yeah.
This wasn't. I'm sure it wasn't a surprise. They've been trying to get him for a while, and they just finally got him.
Yeah.
So,
Go dogs.
yeah, that dog's awesome.
Yeah. I think Ayla would do it.
Yeah, if she had
Ayla
all
would take
four
him down.
paws.
When'd you get all better, baby?
I can't. So the part of the reason that this podcast was late, and I'm a little off tonight, just because I've been so bent out of shape over my dog. Like
Yeah.
she's like my child, you know.
And
She's
you've had her for years, since she was like what, a couple months,
yeah,
and she's 7 now, 8.
she's almost 8.
So that's a long time to be with someone every single day
Yeah, she
and
was.
take care of them. So
Yeah, it's
it's
like
understandable.
she might as well be a human.
Yeah.
You know, she's a creature just like I am, just a little different, and with lots of hair, and she slobbers and
She drools.
she
Oh,
drools.
she drools bad. But she'll be okay.
She'll be all right. Yeah, I adopted her from a rescue in Maryland. It was a small farm, and when I got her, the woman that ran the farm told me that she was tied to a tree in Georgia with the other puppies from her litter, and they were all dead, except her.
Goodness.
Yeah, except her and her one sister.
Can you imagine being like tied to a dead sibling?
Yep, you got to watch your siblings like get eaten by maggots and stuff. It's terrible.
Stink. Who
So-
owned them? Who did that? Like, who tied them? At
They
least if
just
they're free.
they abandoned them,
it'd be
just left
decent.
them.
But tied them to the tree? Some people are heartless.
Yeah, I know. Like at least give them a shot.
Yeah. Yeah, at least if you let them out in the wild, they could try to fend for themselves, create like a little pack, but
Yeah, luckily someone
Time.
found them, and then this woman and her daughter rescued them, and then she moved in with me. Then I adopted her, and when she was a puppy, she had issues. People don't realize that don't have. I don't want to say pets. I don't like that word, because then it's like master and pet.
Yeah.
Beast and master.
but she's your best friend.
She's more like a family member, and that's how I adopted her, and I raised her like a family member, and it was like we were a pack, and I was the pack leader, not the master. She knows that I'm the boss, but I've never once used any kind of violence or aggression toward her in her training, and she's, in my eyes, perfectly trained. I mean, there's
She is.
certain things that don't translate because she's a canine, but she's cool. She's cooler than that German Shepherd that took down Baghdadi.
She's definitely
Baghdadi.
sweeter.
There should be a hip hop song called Baghdadi.
I treat my animals like animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're sweet too. Let's use this one for a little bit.
What?
That camera.
Oh, I didn't change the camera angle.
Spend like a couple minutes. All right, so let's talk about this video game.
Okay, yeah. So kind of to get off of the such a serious topic.
Because we're such serious people.
Yeah. So Jaguar, the car company, back in Britain, by the way, for the past 5 years now. So Jaguar was acquired by Ford in like the mid 2000s. Sorry,
Can
Ayla's.
they hear her? I don't think they can hear.
I can hear her on my headphones. My dog's drinking water now, which also makes me happy because she hasn't really been eating or drinking normally. It's a weird podcast.
It is. We're like just jumping all over the place. All right.
Yeah.
Video game.
So Jaguar, a British car company. You know Jaguar. Everyone or Jaguar. If you're British, you say it that way.
Jaguar.
Jaguar. Recently designed a concept car strictly for the PlayStation video game Gran Turismo, which is proprietary to PlayStation.
Okay.
Maybe not. I don't know. They might have expanded to Xbox, but I'm pretty sure they're console specific to Sony PlayStation.
And this was the first time it was ever done.
That I don't know.
So what's the significance of this? They created a car for
A video game.
but it's not really created, is it? It's a real car.
It's not a real car. It's a virtual car.
They created a virtual car for a video game. Isn't that every video game car?
No, because it's a simulator. The game Gran Turismo is a simulator, so it's designed to simulate real life.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So here, let me put this into perspective for you really
yeah,
quick.
something I can understand.
Okay. All right. Nissan.
Uh-huh.
Nissan's Formula driver got the job by playing this video game.
Whoa.
He started, or I don't know if he also had
Wow.
like an amateur career as a real race driver, but he won some kind of competition playing Gran Turismo, playing their.
So that's that accurate. Is that
It's that accurate that someone was actually able to play a simulator,
mm-hmm.
showcase how good he was on the simulator to the developer of the game and to a manufacturer that put him in a multi-million-dollar car on a multi-million-dollar real race team in a vehicle that goes like 200 miles an hour, and he drives the real car. So that's how real to life the simulator is.
And now they made a car just for that. So do you think they're going to actually make a real car off of it?
That's a good question because have you ever been to a car show?
No.
Okay, so like the big car shows like SEMA and there's the Philadelphia car show they do here.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, sometimes they'll have a concept car.
Okay.
And different manufacturers will like show off the best of their design skills and tech skills and engineering and make concept cars. And sometimes those concept cars go to market after basically tons of revisions. By the time it gets to market, it's not the concept car.
Okay.
But what were you going to say?
Nothing. No, I was reading what Taylor was saying too about it was a concept of the real car, but it's only ever intended to be a simulator. So they're never going to make it a real car.
Exactly. So that's my point. I thought that was kind of cool is that they made a car specific to
For
a video game console.
That is.
Yeah. So think about but it's also a simulator. So it's like they can't really fake certain things. You know what I mean? It has to. So it's like you said, what's the point? That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
Tyler was also saying it's probably a marketing tool as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's probably going to make people buy the game.
Yeah.
You
Here.
can't buy the car, so you have to buy the game.
Yeah. I'm going to pull up what
Do
the
you
car
play
looks
that
like.
game?
Do I?
Yeah.
No, I'm more of like a Forza. I play the Xbox.
Okay.
So I'm more of like a Forza guy, which is also a simulator, but it's probably not as real to life as Gran Turismo is.
So this Gran Turismo, do you have like a wheel and and pedals and
Yeah, you can. You can get that
stick
for
shift thing?
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of like Flight Simulator.
It's like Flight Simulator, yeah.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And you can say like you are really good at driving this car that nobody actually has.
Right. I wonder if you have to buy it in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like here, I have a photograph of what.
You probably do have to buy it in the game. Do you have to buy other things like upgrades for your car? I know it's probably not even called upgrades. I sound probably
No,
really ignorant on this,
So
but upgrades for your car.
So here you go. Here's what the car looks like here.
Oh wow, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, that's a cool car.
So would you ever see that on the street? Probably not.
Yeah, well, definitely not, right? If they only made it for a video game,
Yeah.
you're never gonna see that.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. It
So-
looks like one of those Men in Black cars, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's all futuristic and curvy. These are the lines in the street, or
They're-
are these the lines on the car?
It's
reflective?
it's reflection, yeah. But there's no rear view mirrors on the car. You don't need them when you're going that fast. You only need
You're
to
gonna leave
look
everybody
forward.
in the dust.
Yeah, you only look forward, never back. That's like rule 1 in racing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to race motorcycles, and you don't use mirrors and you don't use brake lights.
Shouldn't you have mirrors though?
Nope.
Well, don't you want to see it on the side of you? What
Nope.
if you have to merge?
You turn your head. You use your eyeballs and
Is
never
that
use.
so that you don't have a blind spot?
Yeah, you might have a blind spot. It's also yeah.
Okay.
And also, like, if you're racing and you're 100 plus, 150 plus miles an hour, you really don't want to be looking behind you. You really only want to look at what's coming.
That's true, because it's gonna hit you really fast.
Really fast.
You blink and too long, and
Exactly.
you can hit something.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool, that Jaguar. Oh, also there was another thing. Is there anything that you want to talk about on this episode? They're all my topics. I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't want to talk
you
about this.
Talk about something, not
Shoot.
really, but a little bit. So it was a rainy day. No, it wasn't a rainy day. It was a really nice sunny day, and you put on this album that didn't match.
It's so funny because
Did
I was
not
about to bring this
match.
up. I was literally about
Did
to talk
not
about
match the
this.
weather and the beautiful day. So I
Yeah.
kind of want to talk about that.
What album was that?
Kanye's new album.
I wonder if I can play it. Being that this episode is not monetized.
I don't know. Maybe we should be on the safe side and not.
All right.
Can you play like? Yeah, that's
I
not.
could, but if we monetize the show later, it could be a problem.
So let's just talk about it. So I only heard the little bit that you played on that beautiful day.
Yeah, so the album is called Jesus is King.
Jesus is King.
Jesus is King by Kanye West. And so Kanye's been on this very religious trip
Yeah.
since his whole what people called a meltdown.
But
Remember that?
Didn't you say like a couple of years ago he came out with that other song where there were, what's that song? That song where they're like short.
He did Jesus Walks.
That was a long time ago.
Jesus walks with me. Doom, 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 doom. You know that song?
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, that was a dope song too.
That was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, like I said this to you, so I'm not gonna act like this is the first time I said this, but he did that song with Lil Pump,
Okay.
and
Which song is Lil Pump?
you want me to say the lyrics?
Yeah, I want you to sing. That sounds like a fun idea.
The lyrics were, "You're such a fucking hoe. I love it."
Yeah, I do know that song.
Okay, and that was like the whole song.
When was that?
That was last year, maybe a year and a half ago.
So every other album he does is a
No,
Jesus album?
no, not at all. So Kanye did that whole like depression album. I forget the title of that album. It was terrible. That was the one that had that whoop diddy whoop, scoop diddy scoop, poop diddy poop.
Are you
And
serious?
Those were the lyrics. Those were the lyrics on one of the songs. He literally, I think he sat in the studio and he's like, let me see what I can get away with. And then what happened after he did that song, there was a series of other like mumble rappers that made songs with that style. Whoop diddy whoop, scoop diddy scoop. Like he
so
was obvious he
ridiculous.
was trolling his own album.
I think people ran out of ideas. Maybe he ran out of ideas. And he's pretty smart. Like he can come up with ideas.
He had what I refer to as the curse of the Kardashians. Every man that has come in contact with a Kardashian girl has gone batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Okay?
that true? Every
Look at
single
what
one?
happened to Lamar Odom.
Oh yeah, I did hear about him.
Look at what happened to that Scott character.
Scott.
Yeah, the beard.
That was the one with the oldest sister?
I don't know, the one that's actually cute and doesn't have like tons of plastic surgery. Whatever. And then
Oh yeah.
and then also
I know you're talking about.
Kim was with some other guy before Kanye, and then another guy before that.
And then Brandy's brother. That was the original, right?
Yeah,
That's when
Ray
she made
J.
The porn tape with.
Yeah, that's when she kind of that like broke her out into like the celebrity scene or whatever.
Yeah, that's what got her popular.
Yeah, but think about it, every man, and it doesn't matter which sister or mother, because the mother's guilty of this too. Every man that comes in contact with a Kardashian goes off the deep end.
Yeah.
It's true.
So
It's the curse of the
but I
Kardashians.
think he's like helping. He's not that deep off. Right?
No,
I think Kanye's he's been a little crazy before, so I think he's kind of
he's been eccentric. There's a
Yeah.
difference between eccentric and crazy. I don't know. Maybe you're right, but
Okay, so you listened to the whole album. I didn't. I only listened to like those couple songs.
Yeah, it's very gospel.
I'm not a big gospel fan. I'm not a big Kanye fan in general. So did it get better?
I thought there was a couple tracks on there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which ones did you like?
Closed on a Sunday, you're my Chick-fil-A. I don't know, man.
No, why is it that when you're always craving Chick-fil-A, it's a Sunday?
I don't know.
What's up with that?
I really don't know. He did this one song with Ty Dolla $ign that I thought was all right. I don't remember the names of these tracks, but if you go on Spotify, if you have a Spotify account, just plug in Jesus is King and you can listen to the album.
So you recommend, what did you say? $sign something?
The
You
song he
recommend
did,
that song?
yeah, the song he did with Ty Dolla $ign was all right.
Was it a gospel song?
The whole album was kind of a
Gospel.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, there was some tracks where I was like, okay, I can kind of maybe hear this on the radio.
Doesn't he do that thing where like he does some sort of like worship thing on Sundays?
Yeah, he does Sunday service. He actually got some flack about that because he was charging for entry.
Wait, but what is it? It's a concert, isn't it?
Yeah.
So why did he
it's
get
like
flack about
it's
that?
like church service. It's like a church service. He has like a whole.
Is there a preacher?
I think he does it.
He preaches. Seriously? And he charges people to hear him preach.
I'm not really sure what the details of it are.
Does anyone know? If you guys know, comment. I want to know about his Sunday service. That
Yeah.
would be interesting. You think it's going to do well? I think it will.
No,
it's-
I don't think the
really?
album's gonna do well.
I think he has enough fans that it will do okay.
He lost a lot of fans because of his affiliation with Trump and wearing that hat, that "Make America Great Again" hat.
Yeah, and that thing he said about what did he say? What did he say about black people? He said something like slavery was a choice. Remember he said something like that? Now don't get me into the whole cancer culture thing. but
Yeah.
he did say something similar to that.
And then he went on TMZ and was like, I was addicted to opioids. And then he went crazy and he was like, I had liposuction and I got addicted to opioids. And
He had liposuction?
he tried to he tried to reel that back in. He was like, man, I messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he'd be like an interesting person to like learn about. When he dies and they do like a biography of him or something. That would be interesting to watch.
He did an interview with David Letterman, the old host of
yeah, the one with the beard.
Yeah, well, he has a beard now.
Santa Claus.
And that was a really good interview. Yeah, because you got a little insight to who he really is. I mean, look, Kanye West is probably one of the most creative people in hip hop, in music entertainment.
Yeah,
And-
he's very creative. You have to hand it to
Yeah,
him.
and he's had some crazy hits. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, he's done like collaborations with Jay-Z. Yeah, he did some weird shit. The thing he did with Lil Pump, I thought was just like clout chasing and him trying to like,
But it worked.
yeah, it worked to an extent.
Yeah.
It did work to an extent. And then this new album is basically he found God, and like Lil Duval, the comedian, said, he's like, anytime someone finds God for the first time, like they just want to tell everybody about it. And he's like on the rooftop right now, just shouting.
But didn't he have God before? Wasn't the whole Jesus Walks him having God before? Or you think he lost him and got back?
I don't know. I think that was a different message. The message on that song was different than what this album is.
Okay.
This album is like sort of submitting to God.
Aw.
You know, and I think that's what he was saying throughout the whole common thread of the album is that like he's just a human who makes mistakes and no one can be perfect because the only perfect person or being is God.
Yeah.
Yeah, his God, Jesus,
Who's king?
who's king in his eyes. Anyway, that's that. So that was that's my little review of
Yeah.
the Kanye West album. I give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
That's a pretty good score.
That is good.
It's better
I
than 50. 50%.
I think it's a
6
good-
out of 10 is like
It's not
60.
passing. It's not passing though.
It's a D.
I honestly think if you listen to it at the right time. See, you listened to it when it was a beautiful day. If you listened to it when it was like raining or
I did both.
it was better when it was raining, wasn't it?
It was.
I think music should match life. Or
Yeah.
life should match music. Life should have a soundtrack.
Yeah.
It should have a soundtrack and it should have subtitles.
The only music I like to listen to when it's raining is like Coldplay.
Because it matches the mood, right?
Yeah, it matches the mood. It's like
I
dreary.
think you can't like have a beautiful bright day and then listen to some depressing music. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't like nice, lovely stuff on beautiful days.
Well, if you live on the East Coast, it's going to be raining for the next couple days, I think.
Depression.
Yeah, so take some time and listen to the new Kanye album.
It's gonna match the weather.
Watch the 6-hour Mark Zuckerberg trial thing. Or
Is it a trial? What is it? A
Nah,
hearing?
it's a hearing.
A
It's not
hearing?
really. He's not
Okay.
on trial. It's
Yeah.
just a hearing. So CNN just not too long ago released some footage and images from the raid that took down Baghdadi. So if you want to check that out, you can too.
They did not respond to commands in Arabic to surrender, and they continued to threaten the force. They were then engaged by the raid force and killed. There were 4 women and 1 man. After this engagement, and once established inside the compound, U.S. forces discovered Baghdadi hiding in a tunnel. When capture at the hands of U.S. forces was imminent, Baghdadi detonated a bomb he wore, killing himself and 2 young children that were with him. The number 2 is a change. We originally thought there were 3 children with him, and this is the number we originally reported up the chain of command. We now know the number to be 2 based on subsequent debriefing. A total of 6 ISIS members died on the objective. 4 were women, and there were 2 men, including Baghdadi. This is in addition to the 2 children killed by Baghdadi as he blew himself up. Let me emphasize again that 11 children were protected by the assault force, and 2 men on the objective were detained by the assault force, and they were extracted with the force. After Baghdadi's murder-suicide, our assault force cleared significant debris from the tunnel and secured Baghdadi's remains for DNA identity confirmation, which were flown with the assault force back to the staging base. Following collection of samples for formal DNA analysis, Baghdadi's remains were buried at sea in accordance with the law of armed conflict within 24 hours of his death.
Wait, what? Did you hear that?
No.
His remains were buried at sea, so there's no evidence? What the fuck? Hold on, let me finish this out.
While the assault force was securing the remains, they also secured whatever documentation and electronics we could find, which was substantial. The assault force then left the compound and returned to their helicopters with the 2 detainees that I've already mentioned. After our forces were safely off the objective, U.S. forces employed precision standoff munitions to destroy the compound and its contents. Let's go to the next video, please.
I'm going to put this up on the screen. I kind of want to just close out the show with this because this is big news, and I feel like if anyone is watching this show and they don't know about this, they should. So let's just close it out with this. This is from CNN. Hopefully this doesn't get us kicked off YouTube. But
Wait, Tyler's explaining it.
go ahead. You can read that to me while I play this. Where is it? What do you say?
He's saying essentially when the big bad Delta guys went in and pressed the off switch on the bad guys, basically some dude picked his ear up. I don't know.
His ear.
That's
That's all that was left.
I'm gonna wait till he finishes explaining everything and then read it all at one time.
Here, hold on.
For those of you that may have seen before and after pictures of the compound, it looks pretty much like a parking lot with large potholes right now. The operation was exquisitely planned and executed. It demonstrates the United States' global reach and our unwavering commitment to destroy ISIS, bring its leaders to justice, and to protect America and others from people like Baghdadi. The mission was a difficult, complex, and precise raid that was executed with the highest level of professionalism and in the finest tradition of the U.S. military. Since there is a significant interest in military working dogs, I wanted to provide a little background information on this fine canine.
Oh, shit.
Next photo, please.
There
let's go
he
back a moment.
is.
Before I actually
What
go to the
happened to him?
dog, I would just like to show you the before and after pictures of the raid compound. You can see the way it looked before, and you can see the way it looks, the way it looked afterwards. So it's pretty clear the success of the standoff munitions that we employed to ensure that it would not be a shrine or otherwise memorable in any way. It's just another piece of ground.
Yep.
So let's go to the dog picture.
There's the dog.
U.S. Special Operation Command military working dogs are critical members of our forces. These animals protect U.S. forces, save civilian lives,
All right.
separate combatants from non-combatants, and
over it?
immobilize
Yeah, I'm over it.
individuals who express hostile intent.
You can leave
This
a link to it on our description,
Yeah.
and they can watch the video.
I don't think we need to put a link. Honestly, like if someone wants to learn more about it, it's top trending news. You could probably turn on CNN right now and this is what they're talking about. Or Fox News. Probably very different narratives. They're like, on CNN, they're probably like, yeah, and apparently, like, they're probably calling it animal abuse. They're saying that sending the dog in there was animal abuse. Fox will be praising Trump, and CNN will say that by sending the dog in, that was animal abuse.
And they got wounded. All right, so Tyler's saying that there was basically mush left, and they used the DNA for reference to make sure that it was just him and not like a whole bunch of people that were being killed. The conflict is us saying that we did not just start killing everyone inside for no reason. We only targeted combatants, and then we buried the remains at sea. Because that is how you do things.
I guess. Whether it really happened, maybe not.
We can only know what they tell us. All right.
We'll see how things play out with ISIS here
Yeah.
on out, you know?
We'll see what happens. Hopefully it affects things a little bit.
All right. Anyway, as for us, we're out of here.
Yep, we're
That's
good.
the end of the episode. So we will see you guys again next week.
Yeah.
And Tyler will connect with you about coming on as a segment guest or something like that on the next episode.
That'll be fun.
Cool.
Oh, so it might not be Wednesdays next week.
Yeah,
Just because my work schedule is kind of it gets a little complicated for me. So we
Yeah.
might do a different day. We will keep you guys updated. I don't
Yeah.
know where to look here.
Yeah,
There.
we're
We'll keep you updated.
probably going to switch days,
Yeah.
or maybe they just won't be scheduled, and we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
We're still working out the kinks of the show.
But we're working it out, and that's what's most important.
Mhm.
And we keep coming at you.
Until next time, I'm Moshe,
And I'm Polly,
and this is.
the Human Collective.
See you guys later.
Take care.